Hello everyone, welcome back to Urban Informatics and Modeling, and this is Josh. And today I'll be covering about Openstreetmap. So what is an Openstreetmap? Is a map that contains data that is open sourced. It means that anyone can put the data, it's like a Wikipedia, and store the information of a particular site or a particular building or a particular place. So you can edit it too, but if you want to edit it, then you need to log in account. So after you have a login account, this is the interface that you have. So this is really useful because in the future when you want to export it to, for example, 3ds Max or Rhino, you already have all the forms, all the building forms, all the location, and also the lines. So here there are some interface that you want to have a look and notice in creating a very good OpenStreetMap data. And are just some like tools just to help you navigate. And this one here, background settings, I think this is one of the picture that you want to have a look, because it's the resolution of the satellite images defines the accuracy of the information that you're going to put. For example, if you have like a very blurry map, then you're going to have a hard time in figuring out what is the shape of that building. Although you don't have to be very accurate, but you will see later on what I mean. So personally, Maxar Premium Imagery is the very best. It shows the detail of the corners. You just want to see the corners. And then that's what I've chosen. And I recommend you to choose it as well. So there are three types of feature. The first one is point. So point is more to a single location, for example, a tree or a single restaurant, like or a single shopping center or a single name. For example, JB Hi-Fi is in the point here. That means that the store is in here. So if I want to, for example, put on a tree, then from the point it's like that, and you can see that in the left tab something is up. Go to natural wood and fill in information. I'm not going to do that because since this is an open sourced, every single data that I'm going to put here is going to be saved into public, although you need to press save beforehand. But I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to delete that. But what I'm trying to show you here that is going to be beneficial when you're doing in Rhino or 3ds Max is this area or line. Point is also important, but especially if you want to model up them trees, it's really important. But to show the general form of the buildings and the neighborhood, you need this tool, which is the area. So press the area and then go over one of the building that has not been yet drawn. So all of this building here, the red ones, they have been drawn by my group. They are ready to be exported and the data is inside. So that's fine. For example, this building there. So this building there is in McPherson Street, and you can trace up the edge of that roof. So it doesn't have to be accurate, but you just want to know that there's a building there. So when it's downloaded, it's going to be downloaded as block, like a poly surface. So here you have to select the feature type or not. If else, you're going to have an error when you're trying to save it. So for example, this looks like a house. Now, if you want to know very detailed information about what that building is, you need to go to Google Maps, or a better option is to download Google Earth Pro, which I've already done it here. So Google Earth Pro also has another feature called Ruler, especially Ruler 3D Path, that you want to use to calculate the height of the building. So the previous building that we selected just now is in Dandenong North. Here is Dandenong, and it's in McPherson Street, which is that building there. Now you might want to cross-check it just to make sure. So there are several houses here. Yep, that is correct. So you want to pan out and to see that sort of like a walk-in type of house, like a residential type of building, and you can have like a Google Street view just like that. So this is a building, looks like it's a residential, so you can select a building feature, house. Perhaps you have the name or not, and then how many levels, and the heights is the most important information that you want to put, because that's going to affect the height of the form, the height of the shape in the 3D modeling software, whether you use 3ds Max or you use Rhino. So again, going back to the Google Earth Pro and exit street view, exit ground level view, you might want to go to this tool here, which is show ruler. Turn around, orbit around just a bit. And you want to choose 3D path, show it in meters, and you want to measure the distance from the top, from the rooftop. It doesn't have to be it from there, from the ridge. You can do it from the eaves downwards like that. Make sure it's perpendicular, because when you're seeing it in 3D, it might be on an angle. So make sure you try to rotate those just to make sure that it's perpendicular and it's a straight line. So that's correct. So that's about 3.5 meters. But if you want to go for the ridge, that could go up to like about 4 or 4.5 meters. And that's the information that you want to put in here in Openstreetmap. So for example, 4 building height. And if you know other type of information, you can put it in. If not, this is the most important thing that you need to put for your model. So if you're done, press this checklist button and press save. Now in saving mode, you have to review. You have the chance to review what you've done, and you can give like a comment of what the changes are, because remember, this is an open source, so everyone can change it and everyone can edit the data. So you need to make sure you need to make sure that you have the right information of what you have changed, so others could know what have changed and they aren't confused. So that's the idea of OpenStreetMap. Although sometimes it can be quite annoying to fill this in, but fill it in just for the sake of the information. Now, if there is an error in this changes, you are not able to save at all. So, and then you can have like, I would like someone to review my edits to be checklist. So someone will review this edit, and someone will review the change, whether it's accurate or not. But for now, just upload it. Right, so now it's saved and everyone could see this change. So I mentioned about exporting this to Rhino or 3ds Max. So in 3ds Max, there's a plugin called Map Room that's going to automatically download the OSM. However, for Rhino users, you need to export this map first before getting it into Rhino. So to do that, just click export here, and you have the coordinates. These are the longitude and latitude coordinates, so it's a geo-referencing coordinate. But sometimes if you don't know the code, you don't know the latitude or longitude, so every time you zoom in, that changes, because that's sort of like the border area there in the real geographic data, in real geographic referencing. But since we do not know, or we lack of information of the exact numbers of longitude and latitude, you can select this, manually select a different data. So this gives out a window of an area that you want to export, which is just the Dandenong part, and you can move it around. You can move it to the Dandenong part, make sure it's good and fit. Okay, after that, just click export, and it's going to download a map.osm, and this file is ready to be used in Rhino. So that is all for today. We've talked about OSM and what it's used for, and the next part of the series is that I want to talk about how to import OSM data to Grasshopper and Rhino, and to create the urban form for your model. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.